Welcome, Bitcoin fam, to the number one Bitcoin pod. In today's show, I'll be sharing the latest Bitcoin technical analysis with 250,000 this year totally possible, according to the latest analysis by Scott Melker. And quoting the high priest of Bitcoin, Max Keiser, the U.S. debt spiral is exploding uncontrollably. Safe haven assets will continue to attract capital. Bitcoin is the safest of all safe havens. Preach. We'll also be discussing New Zealand man arrested in a 265 million crypto scam tied to the FBI probe. We'll also be discussing Basel Medical shares down 15% on the back of the news of them buying $1 billion worth of the Bitty. We'll also be discussing big news. Panama City mayor teases Bitcoin reserve after a meeting with El Salvador's Bitcoin leaders Max Keiser and Stacey Herbert. Also, rich dad Robert Kiyosaki predicts Bitcoin surging to 250,000 amid growing distrust in the central banking cartels. Preach, rich dad. We'll also be discussing how Bitcoin can explode up to 250,000 this summer, according to the BitMEX founder, Arthur Hayes Just Blaze. We'll also be taking a look at the overall crypto market. All this plus so much more right here on Sat, Stack, and Saturday. So stack the Bitty and let's get it. So let's kick off today's show, fam. If you're new to the channel, very important to smash the likes. Go ahead, subscribe, then ring the bell. Turn on all notifications to receive daily premium crypto news alerts every single day, including Sat, Stack, and Saturdays, just like this. Today is pod episode 1994. I'm your host, JV. It's May 17, 2025. Bitcoin maintaining above $103,000 at the time of the live stream. Let's kick it off with our market watch, as we do every day. You can see Bitcoin only down 0.5% on the day, as the markets have been corrective over the weekend, thus far at least. We also have Ether pulled back 5%, XRP down 3%, and basically corrections across the entire crypto sphere. And checking out the infamous CoinMarketCap.com. Currently, the market cap for all of crypto is 3.27 trillion. Bitcoin market cap is at 2.048 trillion. We got 95 billion worth of volume at the past 24 hours, down 15% on the day, with the Bitcoin dominance coming in strong at 62.7%, with Ether dominance at 9.1%. And checking out top 100 crypto gainers past 24 hours, we got Leo up a modest 1%, Core up 1%, and Monero up 0.1%, as the majority of the entire market is Rex City. And checking out the crypto bubbles, we get a visual perspective on the day. Sad to say, almost everything in the red. Zooming out on the weekly, 90% red, 10% green. Zooming out for the monthly, now we're talking virtually everything in the green. So past 30 days have been pretty bullish in crypto, I dare say, for the past 5-6 weeks since we entered Q2. And checking out the Crypto Greed and Fear Index today, we're back in greed at a 74. Yesterday at 71. Last week at 70. And last month a 30 in fear. And checking out the time chain calendar, we're on block height number 897,127. We have 152,873 blocks into the next halving. If you don't know, every block is approximately 10 minutes. And you can currently exchange one fiat monopoly dollar for 970 sats. So pick up the sats, put down the gats, pick up some Bitcoin caps from my man Sergio over at bitcoincaps.net. Get yourself a custom Trumponomics exclusive. Just like this. Headline, Bitcoin at 250. That's going to be the theme of today, 250,000 this year. Totally possible, according to crypto analyst Scott Melker. So let's break this down, and I'll pull up the live charts as soon as we're done with this. Bitcoin's next explosive move can send the asset to $250,000 by the end of the year. According to Scott Melker, the host of the Wolf of All Streets pod, speaking in the interview, Melker cited growing institutional interest and diminishing volatility as key factors that can drive that next leg up. Quoting him here, 250 this year, totally possible. And he added that Bitcoin's volatility has declined significantly in the recent years. Quoting him here from the interview, it used to be about 3 times as volatile as the S&P. Now it's less than 2 times. He pointed to the increased involvement from pension funds and ETF issuers as evidence of more mature, stable market. The shift, he argued, reflects the broader trend of institutional adoption. The more institutional money, the more Wall Street money, the more the long-term hodlers get involved, and the less volatility there's going to be. be. Makes perfect sense. Market activity in 2025 has already shown signs of great strength. Bitcoin surged past 104. In fact, we did tap just 105 a few days back. And Ether resurged back, and it's currently obviously correcting, but it retapped 2,700 after hitting a low of like freaking 1,400, which is pretty wild. Coinbase's addition to the S&P marked a major milestone for the crypto integration into the mainstream finance. Melker noted the company is not just entering the index, but also doing so in the top 50 market cap, a reflection of how deeply rooted some crypto firms have become. And speaking of the roots, shout out Black Thought and Questlove. And in addition to Coinbase, firms like Galaxy Digital and eToro have moved forward with public listings, signaling confidence and regulatory condition under the current U.S. administration, which is extremely bullish on Bitcoin and crypto. Melker said that this environment, bolstered by the dropped SEC lawsuits and favorable executive orders, have created what he calls an extremely bullish backdrop for the sector. Couldn't agree more. And while Bitcoin remains the primary focus, Melker acknowledged a renewed interest in the alts. Recent price action saw Ether outpace Bitcoin, triggering a rally across the smaller cap tokens, a sign in which he says new money is entering the space rather than just rotating within it. And despite the optimism, Melker tempered expectations, noting that most experts are forecasting cycle highs between 120 and 150, but still he emphasized that while surges are not out of the ordinary, well, naturally, right? And from the 2020 lows to the last bull market, Bitcoin went from 3 G's to 69,000. So a 2.5x from here wouldn't even be a big deal. And if we did 2.5x from here, that's 250,000 per Bitcoin, hence the target. So you already know. And quoting Max Kaiser here, the U.S. debt spiral is exploding uncontrollably. The safe haven assets will continue to attract the capital. Bitcoin is the safest of all the safe havens. You damn straight. And if you don't know now, you know. And let's pull up some of the live charts, take a quick glimpse at what we're doing here. We'll start with the 1 hour. Should be able to see here on your screen in half a second or so. There you go. All right. So yeah, we're currently sitting at 103.2 at the time of the live stream via Coinbase, and we're looking via TradingView. This is the 1 hour. We do have a bull target scenario in the green, sitting at 116. It's a bullish pennant sensation formation. And obviously, if we hit that, we're right back at price discovery, which is currently 109.3. We also have a blue target in the middle here, sitting at 110, still price discovery, sexy little blackjack bitty babe. And we also have another green target sitting just above where we're at. I guess that says 104,871, so roughly $1,000 price increase from the current price action. And zooming out from there, we're going to take a look at the 4 hour, and I'm going to project that we're going to have very similar bull targets. Let's see if we got a 116, baby. Green target, bullish pennant, 116. Bada boom, bada bang, Nippinator indicator in full effect. So you already know, 4 hour chart, very bullish, as is the 1 hour. And checking out the daily. Let's check her out. We also have a red bull scenario here on the daily, sitting at 111. All these price discovery targets make my mouth a water. And let's check out the weekly. We do get a weekly close tomorrow on the 18th. And as you can see, the past 5 weeks have been consecutive green candle closes. And we're still looking at that pretty 124 cup and handle target in play on the weekly chart. And I believe this will most likely happen here very soon, as we're in Q2, the most bullish time frame of a cycle, which is the year preceding the halving. Typically within 12 to 18 months after the halving, we hit the cycle peak. And this time, for the first time, we hit a new all-time high before the halving. And I expect that next leg up here sooner than later. But you guys let me know your thoughts. And taking a quick look at the monthly, already formed very nice bullish candle for the month of May. We're only halfway through the month. Last month, April, was also bullish. And before that, we had 2 bear corrections, unfortunately. But it's all good in the hood, as the bullish momentum is back. And if you don't know, now you know. Headline here reads, New Zealand man arrested in a $265 million crypto scam tied to an FBI probe. That's right, can't make this ish up. Man from Wellington, capital city of New Zealand, shout out all my Kiwis, has been arrested in connection with an FBI-led investigation into the global crypto fraud operation, which allegedly stole $450 million in New Zealand dollars, which is $265 million USD. Good Lord, that's literally more than $250 million, yo. And according to the New Zealand police, the man is one of 13 individuals charged after authorities executed search warrants across Auckland, Wellington, and California California over the past 3 days. The charges stem from allegations members of an organized criminal group manipulated 7 victims to obtain large amounts of crypto, which was then laundered through multiple platforms between March and August of last year. The U.S. DOJ indicted the man under federal law, including charges of racketeering, conspiracy to commit fraud, and conspiracy to commit money laundering, as per the announcement. Meanwhile, prosecutors alleged the stolen funds were used to purchase $9 million worth of luxury vehicles and spent lavishly on high-end goods, including designer handbags, watches, and clothing, as well as services such as nightclub access, private security, and rentals in LA, Miami, and the Hamptons. The accused appeared in Auckland District Court and was granted bail with interim name suppression. He is scheduled to reappear July 3rd. Quoting them here, "We have worked closely with our law enforcement colleagues in the U.S. to support their investigation. Today's search warrants and arrests reflect the importance of international partnerships where criminals are operating across the borders. The investigation remains ongoing." Digital asset theft literally skyrocketed in April of this year, with nearly 360 million stolen across 18 separate hacking incidents. These hackers are wild, Joe. According to data from blockchain security PeckShield, the figure marks a staggering 990% jump. While the higher the price goes of crypto, such as Bitcoin, the more hacking there's going to be. And there's just these insane honeypots. It's mind-boggling. The losses are insane. So protect yourself there, yo. And never keep your crypto on the exchanges, because not your keys, not your cheese, and that can become a honeypot to any of these hackers as well. Now, blockchain analyst Zach XBT identified a suspicious 330 million Bitcoin transaction. The incident was later confirmed as a social engineering attack that targeted an elderly U.S. resident, resulting in one of the largest individual crypto thefts to date. It's crazy, yo. And I don't think they're going to slow down, unfortunately. So protect yourself, protect your keys, not your keys, not your cheese. Tom and Jerry, they always get caught, just saying. Not everyone gets caught. Did they ever catch the Lazarus group, allegedly in North Korea, that is responsible for a good majority of the hacks? I don't think they have. Correct me if I'm wrong. The orange and the blue team with the orange CNA Bitcoin fam. New York Knickerbockers. Game on. Brunson. MVP. Let's go. Next story of the day, yo. Big story. Basel Medical. We touched upon this yesterday. They just announced a $1 billion Bitcoin buying plan. Well, ironically, their stock just crashed 15% off the back of the news. So what's going on here? Let's break her down, shall we? On May 16th, the Singapore-based Basel said it was in advanced discussions with a consortium of institutional investors and high net worth individuals named Nipsey to acquire a US $1 billion Bitcoin through an innovative share swap arrangement. Now we're talking. The company said the benefits of its planned purchase include creating one of the strongest balance sheets amongst the Asia-focused healthcare providers, providing unmatched financial flexibility for mergers and acquisitions. It also said that Bitcoin Treasury would help Basel establish a diversified asset base to weather the market volatility. But the company's shareholders were not sold. Basel's stock has dropped 15%, oh no, on the announcement, according to the Google Finance. Well, I dare say a great buy the dip opportunity before it soars with a bitty acquisition. Fueling the acquisitions in April, Basel announced it had acquired a pure healthcare provider, Bethesda Medical, for an undisclosed sum. The deal marked the beginning of the Basel Medical Group expansion strategy in Singapore and the broader Southeast Asian healthcare market. Basel's management team expects the accumulation Bitcoin will aid in these plans. Quoting them here, our expected balance sheet will allow us to move quickly on strategic opportunities as we build the premier healthcare platform across the high-growth Asian markets, according to their CEO. This isn't the first time a company shareholder has been punished for it announcing plans to build a treasury strategy. For example, GameStop shed nearly $3 billion in market cap during a single trading day in March as investors questioned the video game retailer's plans to stockpile thy biddy. There are question marks with the GameStop model. If Bitcoin is going to be the pivot, does that leave everything else? Well, Brent Newell, U.S. investment analyst at eToro, shared with Reuters. Corporate treasuries collectively hold roughly $80 billion worth of the Bitcoin as of May 16th, according to the data from the Bitcoin treasuries. Bitcoin can potentially be a valuable hedge against growing fiscal deficits, currency debasement, and geopolitical risks for corporations. Assets manager Fidelity Digital Assets said in the 2024 report. And if you don't know, now you know. There's been more and more treasury acquisition companies being birthed. It seems like virtually every day. They're all trying to follow in the footsteps of Michael Saylor. And by the way, Saylor's stock is absolutely crushing it. MSTR, that is, Strategy B, formerly known as MicroStrategy. Let me show you what I'm talking about. Saylor posted this earlier. It says MSTR is winning the financial triple crown. First place this quarter, first place this year, first place since adopting the Bitcoin standard. Our strategy works because it's built on the pretty bitty going up forever. Laura, please somebody ask me if there's a second best cryptocurrency. Here's your answer.
Which one's the best crypto asset? Well, Bitcoin's the best crypto asset. Okay, what's the second best? There is no second best.
I'm not saying I'm number one. I'm sorry, I lied. I'm number 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5.
There's no second best crypto asset. There's a crypto asset. It's called Bitcoin, right? The point is, if you have the superior asset, it's going up forever, Laura.
Big news right here. And shout out Max and Stacy, man. I'm pretty excited for this one. Let's go Central America. Panama City mayor teases Bitcoin reserve after meeting El Salvador Bitcoin leaders Stacy Herbert and Max Keiser. Bitcoin reserve, says the mayor on May 16th on X, Mayor Mizrachi. After meeting El Salvador Bitcoiners, Max and Stacy. Another one bites the dust. Let's go. Now, while Mizrachi didn't share details about the discussion with Keiser and Herbert, the timing of the post came 11 days, another divine omen, before the Bitcoin 2025 conference in Vegas, where Mizrachi is scheduled to speak. Do you think there may be a big announcement of Panama adopting a strategic Bitcoin reserve made at the Vegas conference in just a few more days out? Good chances. The creation of the Bitcoin reserve in Panama City would follow a recently approved measure permitting the use of crypto for public payment, including taxes, fines, and municipal fees. Bitcoin, Ether, Tether, and USDC will be accepted once the crypto to fiat payment rails are established, according to Mizrachi. And to push for the Bitcoin reserve at the federal level, Mizrachi would need to collaborate with Panama's National Assembly to craft the legislation. There is no evidence to suggest that he has taken such measures. Mizrachi's post followed the recent enactments of 2 Bitcoin reserve bills in the U.S. states, Arizona and New Hampshire, with New Hampshire being the first state of the U.S. to adopt a Bitcoin strategic reserve. Ukraine is also reportedly inching closer towards adopting Bitcoin as a national reserve asset as the game theory continues, according to the local media report. And Keiser suggests that the trio spoke about how Panama and El Salvador can leverage renewable energy to bolster their Bitcoin mining operations. Quoting Max, Bitcoin is transforming Central America. El Salvador's geothermal and Panama's hydroelectric will power the Bitcoin revolution. That's right. Herbert also noted that Panama City will integrate El Salvador's What is Money financial literacy textbook into the online library system. Now, Keiser and Herbert have played a crucial role in crafting El Salvador's Bitcoin policy, which includes a Bitcoin reserve consisting of 6,179 BTC, worth nearly $640 million. Keiser serves as President Bukele's Bitcoin advisor, while Herbert runs the Bitcoin country office. And speaking of Max, let's see if there's any new tweets that he just gave out while I've been recording today's live stream, and I'll read them to you as he's been updating us with the Panama situation with the strategic reserve. So here we go. Max Keiser made me a rich man, someone says. In 2019, I was half broke, single, and working 40 hours for peanuts. Started watching Max and Stacy on RT, invested almost everything I made in Bitcoin and on the Swan account. Now I am rich, never have to work again. And there's millions of stories just like this. So all hail the high priest, and thank you for bringing us the legendary Keiser report. Strategy has been buying 2 billion Bitcoin a month for the last 5 months. For context, the most it ever bought in a single year before 2024 was 2.6 billion. Something clicked in the markets on November 2024. MicroStrategy has been buying Bitcoin like crazy ever since, 100%. Now, Max also says, here's FT scoffing at Saylor in 2021 when Bitcoin was 36,000. You might recall our Giga Chad was a part of the recent dramatic and monochromatic call to arms alongside Bitcoin televangelist Max Keiser. MicroStrategy triples down on the biddy. So yeah, why wouldn't Michael Saylor triple down on the Bitcoin? And they roughly already have 3% of the supply, which is really mind-boggling. Now, Max, in regard to Ricardo Salinas, Uncle Ricky, he says, I pitched Ricardo and some investors, one well in particular, on my idea of a 50-story Bitcoin hotel in El Salvador's historic district with a 100-foot revolving Bitcoin logo on the roof. He likes the idea, and I dare say Uncle Ricky may be already the wealthiest individual in all of Mexico, as his Bitcoin portfolio is 70% of his portfolio, according to his own words. But there you have it, yo. As the adoption continues, El Salvador, Panama, what other countries are likely to be next to adopt the Bitcoin standard or for their treasury strategic reserve? But yeah, here's the latest from Rich Dad Robert Kiyosaki with his prediction, and then we'll discuss Arthur Hayes saying Bitcoin can run up to 250,000 this summer. And why is that significant? Because we're here in the summer. That means within the next couple of months, game on. So let's break this down. So yeah, Robert Kiyosaki predicts Bitcoin surge to 250 amid the growing distrust in the central banking cartels from hell. That's right. And I think he did a tweet. Let me start with this tweet he just wrote today. Question: why will gold, silver, and Bitcoin continue to grow in value? Answer: the Marxist central bank system is a crashing. Many going bankrupt. Keep hodling. I am and buying more Bitcoin. I predict Bitcoin climb to 250,000 this year. Buy more of the biddy. Do not sell. I repeat, buy more of the biddy. Do not sell. Thank you, Robert. Spoken like a gentleman. Kiyosaki's tweet comes amid the growing global uncertainty surrounding central banking systems. In recent years, inflationary pressures, unsustainable debt levels, and questionable monetary policies have led to the increased skepticism, while critics might dispute the Marxist label. I agree with them. Kiyosaki's language reflects a broader sentiment shared by many in the crypto community, a belief that centralized financial institutions are failing to protect consumer value. That's a fact, Jack. This narrative has been gaining traction, especially after several major banking collapsing and government bailouts highlighted the vulnerabilities within the matrix. With rising inflation in the U.S. and Europe and mounting economic instability in developing nations, alternate stores of value such as the biddy and precious metals have been increasingly appealing to investors looking for the hedge, looking for the edge of the flat earth. Oh no. And while Rich Dad's forecast to 250 may seem optimistic, it is not without precedent. Analysts at Standard Chartered Bank made a similar prediction late 2024. That's right. And who's the primary shareholder of Standard Chartered? It's BlackRock. So BlackRock's ultimately projecting Bitcoin to hit 250,000 as well. And Larry Fink has come out and said Bitcoin could hit 700,000 this cycle. What are your thoughts on that? And as you know, Kiyosaki's message to his followers was clear: buy more, do not sell. The phrase HODL, shout out to the HODL gang, a popular crypto slang mean hold on for dear life and never sell that bit even during the turbulent times. For Rich Dad, the strategy isn't just about the gains. It's about preserving wealth in what he views as a collapsing economic order. Precisely. His endorsement may inspire more retail investors to consider digital assets as part of the portfolio. My name is the Great Cornholio, and I need Bitcoin for my portfolio, as Beavis once said, especially for those wary of fiat currencies and traditional banking. And there you have it. What are your thoughts on Kiyosaki projecting 250,000 this year, 2025? Yay, nay, holla at your boy. Now for our feature story of the day. Here's how Bitcoin can explode up to 250,000 this summer, according to the BitMEX founder, Arthur Hayes. Just blaze. Break her down, shall we? BitMEX co-founder Arthur Hayes believes the biddy could nearly double in price from the current level in the coming weeks. In a new interview with Anthony Pompliano, Hayes says Bitcoin can explode by roughly between 44 and 92% from the current price, quoting him from the interview with Pomp. This year, I think we get to 250 in Bitcoin. Maybe this summer. I know what you did last summer. Run to something like 150 to 200 before we get some sort of a pullback. And according to Hayes, the 90-day pause by tariffs by the Trump admin, first on the most countries of the world and later on China, will trigger volatility as the end of the suspension period nears. Quoting them again. They set these 90-day targets. Obviously, now you have a strike price, a maturity, and an expiry. There's going to be insane volatility around that. Will they or won't they? What's the deal going to look like? And obviously, Trump's going to posture that he is serious about really inflicting some pain on trade partners. So you can see a sort of a ditch and bride at the altar negotiating style. Wow, a ditch the bride at the altar. I've never experienced that. We can see some insane volatility around July 4th for everyone except China. And then China's like August 10th, somewhere around there. So I think now we have seen those dates in mind. I wouldn't want to be overly long on any of the risky risky assets. Over the long term, the BitMEX co-founder says Bitcoin could explode by around 860% amid a potential increase in the money supply, which is practically $1 million per coin. We've covered the bull scenarios before from Arthur Hayes, quoting him here. I think the Trump team is very serious about trying to do their part and rectifying these trade imbalances. I think capital controls are the way they are going to do it, which is a little bit slower burn, but foreigners are going to react by selling assets because now there's a tax and they don't want to pay it. And so there's going to require printed money to replace those dollars. And the money gets printed. Pretty little money printer go, brr. And Bitcoin benefits the most out of all the different risky assets and the one that could drawn out there. And that's how we get to $1 million per Bitcoin. 1 milli. Send it. I think that happens sometime between now and when Trump exits his office in 2028. Let me know if you agree or disagree with Arthur Hayes. Just blaze. And to watch this exclusive interview between Mr. Hayes and Pompliano, check the show notes below the video in the description. And I also like to reiterate some of my personal targets, which are right in alignment with what Arthur Hayes has to say. My bear scenario, 2025, this year, 222, right in alignment with OG Bring Facts. Send it. And that's the bear scenario. Base case, 420 for the broskies. But JV, you're based. Absolutely. And bull scenario, 1.1 million. In fact, I wrote myself a prescription, just what the doctor ordered. Let me know if you agree or disagree. And I dare say this is bearish. Max Kaiser's calling for 2.2 million this cycle. Let me know if you agree or disagree. And welcome everyone to the Q&A segment of the live stream. This is your opportunity to get comments read out loud. We're still streaming on X, Rumble, and YouTube. And if you have any questions, please, the platform's all yours, Bitty Broskies, Bitty Baddies. All right, it's going to be 100 degrees in Vegas. Expect nothing less. Summer is here. Summertime in the city. The interview was very good, so you already watched it. Excellent. China. You know what Trump does? China. Nipsey is the centerfold. Whoa, I never thought of it that way. One page that opens up is just his big kahunas. You know, Bitcoiners have the biggest kahunas. You got to take them traveling in a wheelbarrow, like that South Park episode.